XDC is like ETH to build on. Yes, absolutely. Why is it like ETH to build on? Well, if anything, I want people to understand that, you know, you got to understand what they're trying to solve. What are they trying to solve? Let's jump into that for just a brief moment. So as far as what they're trying to solve, so, there's that particular picture. XINFIN as an XDC reduces, like it says, technical barriers preventing the integration of decentralized services into current business models. The network streamlines the process in multiple ways. For one, the protocol is compatible with ISO 222 messaging standards. And it's funny how, of all the ISOs, on the big day, XDC was the one to do it first. We thought that, it's going to be XRP, XLM, maybe even quants and whatnot, that they would do it first. And but I also mentioned, I think XDC will follow soon after or be real close to it. Was somewhat close to being right on that, but not completely. So look what it mentions here. XINFIN, also compatible with other blockchains, make it one of the most flexible enterprise-grade blockchains available. And in regards to XINFIN specifically, how about this? This is going to allow the protocol itself to be compatible with, we talked about ISO 222. Sorry, I lost my spot. This approach enables users to integrate XINFIN to legacy banking systems, ERPs, and Swiss systems. I'm going to get into the part about developer restrictions, but I want to show you this real quick because hopefully this answers your question for the most part. Three main things. Back to that particular chart, right? Benefits of XINFIN's network, okay? XINFIN XDC brings a lot of benefits to the table. For one, the network provides large institutions, and that's the key thing when we're talking about XRP and all this, right? We want to see that institutional money come flooding in. But I think, if anything, it's the trade sector. So it's like, the institutions do a lot of, trade with the trade sector. But yeah, it provides large institutions with a regulatory approved KYC integrated network to conduct decentralized operations. So, I did a video a few days ago about why XDC is rising, but understand this, guys. We want that regulatory clarity to do what? We always mention this all the time. You may get tired of hearing it. We want that regulatory clarity for institutions to come in. If you already have a blockchain standard of XDC who does what? And I'll highlight it again. It provides, this network from XDC provides large institutions with a regulatory approved and KYC integrated network to conduct decentralized operations. So if we're all about regulatory clarity, which we are, because that is the pathway forward, or I guess you could say the blueprint of generational wealth, like we always talk about things in steps. We were talking about with Jasmine earlier. You got to have steps. You can't just have everything already. Boom, this is all going, because obviously we probably wouldn't be in Jasmine. Now, this is not Jasmine, this is XDC. But the point is, especially if you're just connecting, this is good stuff. I'm glad you brought this up. The point is, the path forward for institutional mass adoption, that is key. And they may not come out and say it, but in reality, this is what they want. That regulatory clarity. If you already have one that provides, like it says, large institutions with regulatory approved and KYC integrated network to conduct decentralized operations, and if XDC is already there, then why not hop on the one that gets it done first? Maybe that is what exactly is going on with some of these recent pumps. To me, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I like to put it from I guess you could say, in a layman's point of view or perspective, but it makes absolute total sense. It says the network is open source. What is open source? Basically, anybody can have access to the code, build upon it. Why would you want to do that? Because you want to attract other devs to come in and code on that particular platform. If you have something that's not open source, devs don't know what they're getting into. Hence why it's so attractive for devs to come into what? Quant. Because if anything, let's say they learned Python. Let's say they only learned C++ or C#, some of those other particular ones. Let's say they didn't get in necessarily in some of these other coding languages. But the point is, you're taking out the obstacle of what? Learning how to learn a whole brand new, I don't know, coding language. You don't necessarily have to do it 3 lines of code. So these are why we point out so many of these things, for whether it's from Quant, XCC, and so on, because this other particular one, the community has had the time to vet the platform's smart contract coding. The community, and also who? Even devs. You have some open source, devs see it. I understand it. Will I build on it? Yes, I will. What blockchain project am I trying to, what kind of business are we? Oh, we're into, I don't know, I'm just going to throw something out there. Metaverse. Why do you want to build on XCC if there's meta blocks? What, there can't be another particular player? Yes, there can be. What do you guys offer? Well, we offer, education in the metaverse. Oh, okay. Would you like to join our ecosystem? Yeah, we would. We would actually like to build on meta blocks with our particular blockchain project. All right, come join our ecosystem. Well, why can't I just join Ethereum? You really want to join that? You want to pay? You want to be on something super slow that's not really truly scalable? You know what I'm saying? The fees, the speed, and on top of that, having this be such open source. I mean, I get some people say, well, Max, Ethereum technically is open source to a sense as well. I get that. But my point is the scalability problem. Are you going to be able to scale on Ethereum compared to XDC? Here's this particular outline. XINFIN provides users with instant block finality and settlement of trade transactions. Impressively, developers clocked XINFIN at 2000 TPS, like we showed you in that particular chart. The blockchain leverages a dedicated proof-of-stake DPoS hybrid to achieve high performance and second block times. My point is this, and I'll try to leave it at this for the most part until we jump into the energy efficient, and then I think after that we'll jump back into the news. But if you are a new business and you have understood, years ago, Ethereum worked for me. Why did Ethereum work for you? Because those were your particular options during a Web 2 environment. We are in a Web 3 environment. More and more businesses have educated themselves, not necessarily the CEOs, right? They hire people to look more into this. When they have hired more and more people to look in this, they have come to the conclusion that, you know what? The general consensus, they're right. This is the Ethereum killer. Why is it the Ethereum killer? You have a vast, robust ecosystem that's a lot faster than Ethereum and gets everything done that already Ethereum provides as we speak, but cheaper, faster, more efficient. By the way, military grade. Is Ethereum military grade blockchain? No, it is not. So, and then on that, the partnerships and so on. So I honestly think this helps them that much more with the transparency, if you will, compared to, Ethereum. Now, how about this? The energy efficiency of this real quick. The system improves scalability, just like it mentioned on the previous short paragraph, and reduces energy consumption compared to earlier proof of stake and proof of work networks. Perfect example. Oh my gosh, somebody outside has an incredibly small, what. All right, sorry. So yes, compared to earlier proof of stake and proof of work networks. Think about it. They're not literally mentioning Ethereum, but to me, that's like, who was the earlier proof of work network? Ethereum. Who recently became a proof of stake network? Ethereum. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the Bitcoin network. I gotta mention that because in reality, I don't know. I guess that's just the thing. But it says in the Bitcoin network, miners must compete against each other using brute computational force. This requirement drives energy consumption. Yeah, no kidding. There's a lot here. I would highly advise you guys take more of a look into it. Again, a little bit more of the reiteration. We didn't even talk about the whole thing about, XDC even stands out for what? Decentralized apps. I think later this year, dApps really will stand out for 2023. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm going to hop on the gravy train or whatever with Charlie Shrem Investor Place. He's pointed that out, right? Decentralized Oracle. There's so much here. Cross-chain swaps. You know what? In closing, of this particular segment because this wasn't planned. The institutional sector of XINFIN is a critical component of the network. It includes infrastructure such as the staking mechanisms. You guys are always talking about GBEX, a perfect example. XSwap, perfect example. This level is where you find private networks built on the XINFIN blockchain as well. It also includes partner networks. I mean, you guys may feel like, well, Max, how come you're not into those yet? I will be. Not yet, though. But my key thing is I still want to stack more of what I have. I still want to make positions of what I have. I mean, we all have certain ones that we're really into. I do recognize like XSwap reminds me of like it's XDC's version of like Pancake Swap, if you will. Pancake Swap did very, very well last bull market. You know what I mean? It really stood out. But the key thing that stood out for it is that it was a standout DApp, right? So we have things like this with XDC. And of course, there's all the things about the consensus validators. You could take more of a look into it, but it was a great question. I know I could, I don't know, maybe condense that a little bit more, but my thing was XDC is so darn impressive. That's the key thing.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.